Welcome to the Old Hombre podcast with your host, Mense, and
Andrew, good Happy New Year, Nancy. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, everyone. We are officially in 2025.
That's a
We
cheer,
made it.
definitely.
We made it. This is the business podcast. It's all about business and work life. And we are now on the, what's this, 18th episode, I
I
believe.
think it's 17 or 18. Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's just a blur, Nancy. There's been so many.
Wow. But yeah, we took a nice break for the holiday. Andrew, you were in Turkey, right? Just on a quick
I went
one.
to Turkey. I went to Turkey for a few days to go and see my mum. Her birthday is actually New Year's Day.
Lovely.
So it was the first time since I ever remember her birthday being celebrated. She loved it, and yeah, it was good. It was good. It was good to spend a few days with her, and also with my wife. We haven't spent any time together, so it's been nice.
Fantasy. You've been podcasting and speaking to all your fans. That's what it you know.
Yeah.
Well, I've noticed, Andrew, you've got an Old Hombre podcast hoodie now.
It was on the whole. Yeah, it was given to me by my niece for Secret Santa. Her niece and her boyfriend Tim. Thank you both of them.
Lovely.
Catherine and Tim. So thank you, and it's available on the Old Hombre shop, $9.99.
Oh yeah, maybe one day, mate. Maybe one day we'll have someone who actually wants that. I'm really. Okay.
I just want to check. Because I'm a little bit confused. Am I watching the Old Hombre podcast as we are now, or am I watching an episode of Narcos? Because the moustache is rocking Colombian.
Yeah, this is it, man. I'm going for that Colombian traditional look. But yeah, we'll see how long it lasts. I always get insulted when I start growing my moustache. Oh, what
Looks
do you
good.
think? It's that
Looks
you
good.
look like a 19th porn star, and I get all those comments. So yeah, I'm just enjoying it whilst work is.
Could be worse things.
Yeah, whilst work is low. But yeah, anyway, so we've gone from eating turkey
Yep.
to speaking about curry, because this episode is it's going to be all about curries. One of
Nice.
our well, I've come to learn a lot about this, Andrew. I'm not going to actually spoil it.
Okay.
But yeah, for those of you that aren't familiar with UK markets, curries is I think it's a FTSE 100. It's one of the main businesses here in the UK, and they sell electrical goods and home appliances. And wanted to get the year started. Really just doing a bit of a deep dive, right? What we really enjoy doing in this podcast, which is kind of learning about new business segments and occasionally unearthing some kind of important facts around the industry. So yeah, really looking forward to this one, Andrew. And I thought maybe before I actually start going into kind of the numbers and what's going on, I wanted to kind of explain to the audience what inspired me to look at curries in the first place.
That'd be amazing. I mean, it's a British high street name, right?
Yeah.
They've been around for many years, and I'm sure that we've all experienced some the good and the bad of curries. I certainly have. But yeah, it's a great one to do, I think.
Right. So Andrew, straight into Instagram. So
Okay.
Andrew, I've been noticing over the last, I'd say 3 or 4 months, that Currys has been doing social media really well.
Wow.
And
Okay.
that's in my opinion, and I'll give you some examples. And personally, I've always seen Currys as an old dying business, right?
Absolutely.
You think about Amazon, where you could literally just buy most of your electrical goods. You can go directly to the websites of each individual manufacturer and just get your order over. Currys always seemed like that kind of those type of shops that you'd get in retail parks that would be half empty, nothing to do. But apparently, it's all really changing now. And
Well, they had, I mean, other than Amazon, really, they had a company called AO.com sprung up a few years back. And they were really targeting curries. They were going on more about the service. We'll deliver, we'll plug it in, we'll take all the
and
way
it's
the
completely
stuff.
online, and it's completely online,
Completely
right?
online, yeah.
And that's the funny thing. So I really thought it was a brand that was dying, that was disconnected to its audience. And then all of a sudden I start seeing kind of workers doing these really amazing posts, and I just think, oh, a really old company that seems to be kind of archaic and dying,
Yeah.
doing really good social media. what's going on here? And that's where this all
Yeah.
started. Yeah. So I'm gonna start sharing some of
Fantastic.
the things that caught my attention, and you let me know what you think, Andrew.
Okay.
So let's go on to this one. This chap here. Oh, hold on. Right. So get the volume going. Let me know if you can hear this, Andrew.
Sure.
Did you know this JVC 32-inch TV could be the best Christmas gift you'll give this year? Whether it's for festive movie nights, going with friends and family, or what?
So just for context here, this is a very prominent meme or whatever. So that guy there, it's a meme in itself, right? Where he's throwing balloons at people, and the idea is the driver's meant to just drive off.
Yeah.
And obviously, rather than driving off, it's now cut into this guy.
It's cut into
and he's just
him,
talking about this
yeah.
JVC whilst this poor guy's just suffering.
Watching some Christmas classics. This TV offers stunning picture quality at the perfect size.
Meanwhile, the guy's getting beaten to death.
Yeah, exactly. And look, there's the scene. So
That's quite clever because I've seen memes like this, and normally he gets stopped at a traffic light or something like that because he's not got going.
Right. Yeah, but this is kind of their spin. And I thought, okay, that's very interesting, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's go to another one. Let's have a look. I mean, honestly, you can.
There's lots of them, isn't there?
You can pick these at random, and they're all by the employees, mostly young employees as well.
Right.
And wait, there was one that was really funny. I mean, we can really pick them at random, but let's see. All right, here we go.
When the sun goes down and the moon comes up.
So it says, when Michael Myers is chasing you, but you forget to set the workout on your smartwatch. I mean, just little silly things. There's one where they're constantly kicking a bottle. Oh man, where is it?
Well, they're making fun of themselves, aren't they?
Yeah, let's go. Go on, mate.
From my experience, when you go to Currys, when I used to go to Currys, they just used to be, guys still in school or whatever, totally disinterested, thinking why am I? And then all of a sudden now you look like they look like they're enjoying themselves working there as well. That's the other thing.
Exactly. So look at this one, Andrew. I think this is the one I was talking about.
With cutting-edge performance in AI, cutting-edge performance and stop! I'm trying to tell the people about this laptop. With cutting-edge performance and an AI-accelerated processor powered by Snapdragon, this Samsung Galaxy Book 4 Edge Copilot Plus PC will make the perfect gift this Christmas.
Very good.
Look
very,
at
very
that.
good.
And I mean, it really... I'll do one more. Okay, maybe someone that's not so... Well, doesn't look so young on here. I don't know if this is a celebrity wearing a uniform or whether this is an actual worker. But let's have a look at this lady. Yeah, so like when you say thank you too, and look, and now she's taking the Currys employee to her house. I think that's brilliant.
Very good. No,
And
very
I
good.
mean,
No, and it changes. Certainly, changes your image of Currys. They look like a fun company now.
the employees look happy, and so it got me thinking, Andrew. Imagine, you're working at a retail store. We know these aren't the most, I don't want to make assumptions anymore. Maybe they are very, very, very well paid, but let's just say that they're not like the highest paid earners, right? They're working for a retail company ultimately. And regardless of that, they're going out of their way to make employee-generated content. Now, I don't know if they're coming up with ideas themselves or whether they have a great social media marketing team that come in and say, right, you're going to do this and this is how we're going to script it. I genuinely don't know. But what I do know is it's not obligatory for any of these workers to do this. So they must really love the company or they must have a sense of belonging. And so that's really what got me saying, well, what's going on here? Because as far as I was concerned, the company's not doing well. So for the workers to all of a sudden have this attitude of change, something must be behind this. Let's look underneath the hood,
Yeah, well, I mean, as I say, I remember going to Currys a few years back. I don't go that often, simply because I don't buy electrical equipment that often. But I remember looking at a washing machine, I think it was, and it's a typical Currys experience of a few years back. And if you ask anybody, they'll probably agree with me. And it was basically looked at a washing machine, struggled to find somebody to help me. Along came this young lad, couldn't be more than 18, 19 years old, whatever. And I said to him, can you tell me a little bit about this washing machine? And he started to read the label for me. And I said, mate, I could read.
Yeah.
I could read, but, can you tell me what's special about it compared to some? And he couldn't. He couldn't.
Right.
He looked like he didn't want to be there.
Right.
But wouldn't it be great if they did go there and they said, guys, look, we want to improve our social media presence and we want you to get involved and come up with ideas and, maybe help. And I mean, already it's made me smile and it's made me forget that old Currys already.
Right. And
it's
you
great.
look at the comments, it's like best marketing team. Whoever runs your social media deserves an award.
Yeah.
I thought this was Meghan Markle. Oh, okay. But look at the, so rude, isn't it? But look at the engagement, right? And so anyway, that got me thinking. And then, believe it or not, Andrew, I've been using TikTok lately as well.
Right.
And not in the conventional way. There's actually quite a lot of educational stuff on there as well. So I thought,
okay.
Well, because I don't use TikTok for anything specifically, I can maybe just use it as a kind of business intel thing, train it to just be only business intel, whereas Instagram I use for social and stuff like that. So I've been, and then I came across this chap who literally is he runs marketing, social media for different companies, does consultancy, and this is what he had to say about what Currys is doing, and I just thought it's just very interesting. So you can see my screen, right? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Mastered the art of grabbing attention. They're one of the best brands doing employee-generated content, showing us that tech doesn't need to be boring. People don't care about product photos. Their staff are the stars of the show. They were one of the first to do the Gen Z marketing script trend, and it went viral. Aided London.
Anyway, so these guys for the top 5 social media branding companies, and that's what you had to say about it. So yeah, all of this to really hone in on the fact that something's up with them.
Yeah.
And let's have a look. So what I do, whilst on holidays, I had a chance to really kind of Google the history of Currys, look at the financial accounts, and even listen to their earnings calls, their last earnings call, by their CEO. And I've got so many good things to say about what.
I was expecting negatives, but
remember, right? I've been so negative about the likes of Boohoo.com, where I'm an investor, and I wasn't so negative about ASOS. I just thought with ASOS, I didn't really see the clear plan, or
it was lost its way a little bit.
I didn't see the edge and how it could really respond to that threat from Shein. And retail's been definitely an area that I've been interested in, and it was just refreshing to see what I saw, because I could actually, for the first time in a while, I've read some company accounts and I've gone, I believe this. Right. Does that make sense? So I'm going to share what I think I've learned, and maybe you could tell me what you think as well, Andrew, and maybe you in the comments as well, audience. Please put whatever you want, and enlighten me if I'm wrong on some of these takes. So let's run a bit into the history of Currys. Right. So share my screen with you, Andrew. So the company was formed in 1884, which to me was shocking. Right,
absolutely shocking.
I didn't know it was that old. I mean,
I didn't know you could buy an Apple laptop in 1884.
Well, and which goes to my next point. It was founded by a guy called Henry Curry in Leicester, and it specialized in bicycles.
Wow, so, bicycles.
Yeah, but bicycle. I didn't. I mean,
no, honestly, maybe, I don't know, light bulbs or something, but bicycles.
They don't even do bicycles today, I think.
No.
Yeah. So that was like, the fact that it was that old. Like, how did I not know this? Like, I genuinely thought it was a new company set by a couple of Indians. I know it sounds really bad, but I have to say it though. I genuinely thought it was a couple of Indians, because that you got Rubicon, you got several brands. I just thought, and they just called it Currys, and
I just got that as well.
Oh wow! I thought that's why you were laughing in the first place.
No.
I swear to you, and I'm so sorry, audience, but I have to be honest with you.
We're not racist, honestly.
We're not.
Really
but I genuinely thought that was the case, and boy, was I wrong, right? Right.
Well,
let's go.
I mean, it shocks me that. Well, not shocks me, but it makes me quite nostalgic and proud that, we've got a retail name from that long ago. I mean, how many have we lost, Mincy?
Well, Andrew, this is the thing. I don't know if it's my age. I don't know what's going on, but as I've been doing this podcast, and obviously we've been really focusing on UK businesses because we're from the UK. Occasionally we go off piste and we start looking at other businesses across the world, but I'm actually really feeling proud, like more interested in the heritage of our businesses and where we consume. Like, I think that's what this podcast is doing for me, at least. And I also felt that sense of pride, even though I have nothing to do with Leicester. I don't necessarily identify fully as British, if that makes sense. But it's still where I live. It's still where I live, and I felt kind of happy that a business like this still exists.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's the infancy. Now let's go next. So what happens? So Henry Curry, 1884, obviously runs the business, makes it a success. It becomes a store chain, and then it becomes led by his sons Robert and Timothy. Right.
Nice.
So
right.
Back to that story. Why did I feel the need to add this? It's back to that story of, to get that longevity, you've had to have great leadership and that hand me down, that traditional hand me down to the sons. And people be like, oh, nepotism. No, not nepotism.
No.
Keeping company culture and keeping it in the family.
Absolutely.
And that's probably why it's lasted that long.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, man. Like, we've got to stop villainizing this idea of creating businesses and handing them down to your children as, like now we've got this rip away culture where it's just like, oh well, you shouldn't hand stuff down to your children, and it just seems so dirty the way we're going on about it. But actually, well, look, we've got this business that has transpired through different generations in the family, and what's the result? It's one of the biggest employers in the country. Like
exactly.
Well, sorry, Andrew.
No, I'm just, I completely agree with you. And when you look at some other successful businesses that have acted in the same way, IKEA in Sweden, again, it's all handed down. And I completely agree that, if you can develop and get your family interested in what is predominantly making, paying the bills for the family. Yeah. What's wrong with that?
And also, there's the legacy. You don't want it to die. I mean, we were looking at a couple of episodes back, or several probably episodes back, we were looking at Pimlico Plumbers, where the guy built the business and sold it off. Yeah. And then he was just like, it's no longer the business I wanted it to be. Well, maybe that wouldn't have happened if he would have just kept it in the family.
Exactly.
And there's something to be said about it. I don't know what it is to be said about that, but I just think, let's stop going from that direction where we're villainizing this whole hand-me-down thing. Like, yes, there's rich people.
Absolutely.
Yes, there's tax things, but it's not dirty to have a family business. That's all I have to say about that.
Well, farmers do it, don't they? Farmers do it. And,
that's being challenged now as well, but let's not go off piece.
Exactly.
But anyway, next. Right, so this was another shocker. It goes public in 1927.
Wow.
Wow. Phenomenal. And it goes public...
And it's still cycles.
Yeah. And it's merging the Life Bicycle Company. Honestly, I tried to Google the Life Bicycle Company. I couldn't find a damn thing. But what I could do was find a picture of this Campion Cycle Company. But then it says motorcycles on it. So I wasn't completely sure whether it's the exact same company, but hopefully it is.
Right. Okay. Well, BSA there, is actually quite an old cycle manufacturer in the UK. I used to have a BSA bike.
Right, so it's likely to be that's the one.
Be.
Okay, cool. So then, they merge and it goes public. Still cycles, which, again, blowing my mind.
Yeah.
And it was only in 1940 that it starts being cycles and radios and gramophones and all of that type of stuff, right? So that's when it starts going into, like, a variety of goods. 1940. So before that, it had existed a good 56 years selling nothing but cycles. Wow. If you put that in reference to, like, the complete timeline, almost 50% of its lifetime was only bicycles, which gives you hope that this company will probably morph into something different. And sorry, Andrew.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. Would that have happened if there was no hand-me-down?
That's all I have to say about that. Honestly,
exactly.
It's a big question mark that I've been asking myself.
Yeah.
Right, and then look, third generation. Grandson Dennis Curry takes over.
He's not Indian though, Mincy.
Honestly,
he doesn't look Indian.
We actually do have I do know that we've got 2 listeners that are Indian, that are dear friends of mine. I'm
sorry.
It is what it. But yeah, he doesn't look very Indian at all.
No.
But yeah, grandson takes over, right,
Yeah.
in 1967,
Yeah.
and 1984 it then gets sold to its competitor, Dixon's.
Well, do you know what? This takes me back so many years. I remember in those days, my dad wanted a video machine, a video recorder, right? And we had 3 choices of places to go: Dixon's, Currys, and Rumbelows. I don't know if you've ever even heard of Rumbelows.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, so I think they went bust in 1994, 95, something like that. I mean, the League Cup used to be called the Rumbelows Cup, believe it
Really?
or not.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm showing my age.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dixon's, now, again, sorry for my ignorance, but I was not aware that they'd been taken over. So that's interesting to me.
Very-
and now I'm thinking, well, where's the Dixon's name? But I'm sure you're going to come to that.
Yeah, right. So, but the interesting thing is, by the time it got sold to Dixon's, which was 1984, it had 570 stores. I think
Wow.
it's just huge.
Wow.
It's just huge. So yeah, very interesting there. And it just goes to show 3 generations. Now, obviously, they sold it out. I mean, it was public already, but the leadership was still there in the background.
Yeah.
I just think it's a great story. And then 2008, Carphone Warehouse, so it becomes Currys PC World, because they bought
Yep.
PC World,
Yeah.
but they also bought Carphone Warehouse.
Yeah.
Now, Andrew, I didn't want to make this timeline so long. If you want to check out that story in the background, please go.
Well,
to it.
yeah, I mean, PC World is just an interesting side story, really. Again, people are going to think like I'm a bit of a jack of all trade or all things, but I remember sitting in the office one day when I was selling office supplies,
Yeah.
ribbons and all that. I get a phone call from somebody that wants to be a partner, a reseller of ours. And I get all excited. It was a place in Croydon, and they're opening a shop, and they want to commit to so many things, and I'm all excited. I go to my boss. He's gone, yeah, no problem. I said, one problem, they want 90 days credit. He went, tell them to F off. It was PC World.
Oh my God. Wow, Andrew.
It was PC World. Yeah,
Anyway.
there you go. That's my little
You've
side
got so
story.
many stories like this.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's crazy. But yeah, so it all merges. Well, it merges, but it's still kind of okay. So Currys and PC World together with Carphone Warehouse, but Dixon's is still kind of on the side, right?
Well, they used to have a different section, and it used to be called Carphone Warehouse section.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that's where they used to sell the phones, didn't they?
It was all separated. But it was all like different brands. But
Yeah.
the point is this, right? In 2008, that really ran. It was the Currys PC World brand.
Yeah,
Right, with
yeah.
with the Carphone Warehouse kind of somewhere in the background or
Yeah.
inside the store or whatever, and that ran from 2008 all the way to 2021.
Right.
But also, what was interesting, it went from normal shops in just normal shops scattered all over
Yeah.
in town centers to actually larger out of town stores.
Right.
So and I
Yeah.
find that interesting because I did notice that, like, I see them a lot in car parks, in these kind of retail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't really get a Currys in the middle of the street somewhere anymore.
no,
You kind of have to drive to it, which I find
Yeah.
it's very interesting.
Yeah, they're at retail parks now, aren't they? I mean, I know that I only know this because of the Christmas period, is that I've got 3 within, I don't know, a 20-minute drive.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Same
they
here.
are all retail parks.
Exactly. So this, here, my nearest one's in Whitechapel.
Right.
And it's just basically 20 minutes on the bus or whatever. And again,
Yeah.
it's a retail
Yeah.
park, so it always be coupled with like a Nasdaq, a Halfords
Yeah,
next to
yeah,
it. Like,
yeah,
it's always
yeah.
the same scenario. So yeah, and then in 2021, it goes back to being a Currys again. So the whole thing becomes a group, and it's Currys PLC.
So
And-
you'd almost lost the Currys brand at one point.
Yeah.
Almost, hadn't you?
Yeah, but which goes to show we may have not even lost the Dixon's brand yet. Like, it might just
Yeah.
go full circle, but it's now Currys all over again. Currys PLC Group. Interesting enough, nothing to do with cycles. Nothing to do with cycles.
So you can't go and buy a BMX in there.
No, exactly. Which is going to go into the next part of the thing. But I think the key takeaway.
I thought that was really. I mean, the bicycle thing's blown my mind,
Right.
And also how old the company's blown my mind as well.
I didn't have a clue. Have a clue.
No.
But it goes to show that some of these businesses they've got so much hope in them. Like they've been around for about what should we call it 108 years, 100 and whatever years, and they've got so much life left in them. And they employ a lot of people, Andrew. But yeah,
they do, and I think the fact that I think what they're doing with social media may not drive too many more people to the shops. I hope it does, but I think it will certainly help their online presence. Because you can buy everything online now anyway. But there are a few things that I feel they need to improve, and I'll touch upon those as we go on. But yeah, amazing to see, great stuff. I love things like that. I love things about companies that you sort of drive past and don't really notice anymore, and to see the history behind it is fantastic.
So what you're saying here is a breakdown of the high-level figures. So the first thing that got me was, Andrew, let's ask ourselves the first question. How big is the electrical or the technology market in the UK?
Well, you know what? I thought it was a lot bigger than what you've got showing on the screen.
22.8 billion is the market.
Right.
Like, my mind is, I don't know why. So if you ask Alexa, in fact, I've got Alexa here. Alexa, what is the UK's GDP?
In January 2023, the United Kingdom's GDP was £2,721 billion.
In 2023, 2 trillion, 2.7 trillion, right? GDP. That's all the products.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just thought technology would at least be $250 billion.
Yeah, I thought it would be a lot more. When you
Like
think
domestic
of
technology, I mean, when you think about laptops, phones, cameras, camcorders. I mean, I don't know if those things exist, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Well, if you just look around, I mean, just the average house, the amount of pads and phones and telephones and washing machines and it's just everywhere.
I thought it was huge, but no.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe and this is my point. Maybe 20 billion is a lot, but it just didn't come across that way to me from thinking. So the and it's shrinking. So it was it was 22.8 billion in 2020, and now it's 20 billion. So it's going down. So that's
that shocks me. Why it's shrinking? Surely now. I mean, I'm very ashamed to say I bought yet another electrical item for my wife for Christmas that we don't need. That shocks me. I thought we'd be spending more on this sort of stuff.
Well, can we park that? Because I've got a little bit of a theory which will come down the line. But that's something we need to keep in mind, right? So that's how big the now they also, this is another shocker, they also operate in the Nordics. So
I didn't notice.
And it's not even called Currys. And I'll explain to you what they're called. But yeah, they two segments. So they
small Gordon.
I can't remember what the name is. You'll need to pronounce it. But but yeah, Currys. Currys. However you say curry in India, in Sweden, that's probably what it's called. No, I'm joking. But yeah, they operate in about 6 countries, as it says here.
Right.
But yeah, the Nordics is another market. And same scenario in the Nordics. The technology market is shrinking. However, the Nordics is shrinking full stop. Like, as in really, really bad numbers. And what's really respectable about the company is that whilst the whole market has shrunk,
right,
and their numbers aren't necessarily going up. So if you look at the revenue, it's let's call it 8 billion, right? And it's gone down from 10 billion, but they're actually more profitable because a bit similar to our friends at ASOS. They've gone for operational efficiency.
Right.
And the CEO, who started off in 2018, he's really been chipping away at that efficiency. And we're going to go into kind of what that means further down the line. So they've actually stayed profitable. and
Okay.
their share price, as of now, going a year back, has gone up 83% because of it.
That shocks me.
So
That really shocks me.
83%, mate. Like it's a stonker, and you get to understand why further down the presentation. But I guess the key takeaway points here: the technology market is shrinking.
Yep.
And I'll say that in a bit. They are operating in 6 countries. The Nordics is not doing well as a whole. Another key takeaway point is when you listen to the share the share earnings call. And by the way, I did read the annual accounts for AO.com as well.
Yep.
They all talk about mortgages. They always start off talking about mortgages.
Yep.
And the reason why is because these type of companies are very pegged on household.
Household, of course.
Yeah. So
Of course.
TVs, washing machine. Basically, you could buy all of your electricals for your house in these stores.
Yep.
And when mortgage rates go up, in terms of interest rates go up,
Yep.
guess what? People buy houses less.
Yes.
So it means they have less of a need for new appliances, and also there's just less household income. So literally, their performance is heavily correlated with mortgage rates. Which
Absolutely.
again, I didn't make that connection. Like they just sell laptops and stuff. I hadn't.
That's the
actively thought
problem.
that.
See, I didn't make that connection until you just said it, because when I think of Currys, automatically I think of Currys as what interests me. You know, washing machines doesn't interest me, right? So I don't think about. I think about laptops. I think about, I'd love to go and see what new tellies look like. You know, what's the latest flat screen look like, etc. But that makes absolute sense. You know, I haven't mentioned this. I have moved house recently, and and I'll be honest with you. We bought a washing machine and a dryer from Currys, and I'll go on to about those later if I get a chance. Yeah, we could have quite easily kept the ones, but we just thought, you know what? It's easier to leave them there for the people that are buying our old house and buy new ones now, and it's a reason to buy. Yeah. So that makes absolute sense. If people aren't moving, people aren't buying homes, then they're less likely, obviously, to buy home appliances. Simple as that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just and again, 719 stores.
Yeah.
So what I find very impressive about that is if you remember the slide deck where, like, I think it was in it was 1984. It had 500
yeah.
something. Just the phenomenal growth that they had.
Yeah.
Like it's not like they've added so many stores since then.
No.
Like obviously the economy's changed, blah 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 blah. But it's been big for a long time. Is what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah.
All of that to say, very impressed.
Yeah.
Right. So let's go next. So, okay.
Wow.
Now this is
Love
where
this graphic. Love this graphic.
Really comes to life. So I'm gonna drop a statistic for you. So listen to the earnings call. By the way, the group's I'm gonna refer to him now by name. His name is Alex Paddock.
Okay.
Just what a good CEO. Like I was listening to this earnings call, and on the earnings call, you had HSBC was there. Like you know, several kind of investor relation banks, and they were grilling him. So transparent. A really good orator, very no nonsense. Knew when to step back from the call and bring the right person on the right questions. Didn't pussyfoot around. You know, they were saying things like, look, you know, you've got dangers on your market share here. What's going on? Like, what about your profitability? Are you concerned about the fact that the technology market is not growing in the Nordics? And he was just like, look, we're becoming more profitable. We're not happy. You know, we're not, like, just very transparent about the fact that he wasn't happy about the position he was in, but he was very happy with the progress that they're making over time. And I just, hats off to Alex Paddock. Really, again, contrast this from what I was saying about the other CEOs, right?
Yeah.
This is a guy that seems like he really knows how to inspire a crowd, but very no nonsense as well with answering questions directly.
Yeah.
Something that he said was very interesting, and this is why I put this image here. Did you know that 80% of UK households are Currys customers?
Wow.
So he said
80%.
Right. He said that, right? And you know what I'm like. I just went, boom. right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, there's no way. Because I went, I'm not a Currys customer, right? And then, and the truth is, I haven't been to Currys in, well, this is what I said to myself. My first reaction was, bull. And then I went, I haven't been to Currys in years.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to the mother of my child.
Okay. And
I said, hey, like, did you know, she was like, what are you doing? And goes, I'm looking to Currys. What the hell are you doing looking at Currys? Yeah. And I said, oh, I'm doing this for podcast. I said, do you want to hear some fun facts about it? She was nothing fun about Currys. Like, but anyway, go on. So I started saying, did you know that 80% of the the CEOs just said that 80% of UK households are Currys customers? She goes, yeah, that sounds about right. I was like, what do you mean?
Really?
And I was like, really? I'm not a Currys customer. She goes, what are you talking about? You bought your cooker last February and it was from Currys. She was like, what are you talking about? Your fridge was from Currys.
Yeah.
And then and I was like, oh yeah, it was. And then I've only ever bought my cookers and my fridges from Currys.
Yeah.
And the installation and all that type of stuff. And it got me thinking, what? And then I thought to myself, where would I buy my next cooker? Currys, because I can go and see it.
Of course, that's the thing.
I've got like AO.com. Well, I can't see the damn thing, and I'm sorry. I need to see my cooker before I go and buy it. Yeah. Like it just is what it is. Yeah. And then I was speaking to my friend Marcel. Shout out to Marcel. He was just like, the other day I told him to buy a Mac.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna go to the Apple store.
Yeah.
He was just like, I'm in Currys. I was like, you're buying your Mac from Currys. You are a psychopath. Okay?
Yeah, you nutter.
You are a nutter. Like, why would you not go to the store? And I've got a little story about that. I'm going to park that as well, right? So there's two things to park there. But yeah, I've got a lot to say about why you would go to Currys to buy a laptop. But anyway, so it got me thinking. And then he says this, and I went, no, he's right. After speaking to the mother of my child, I goes, he's right. And I look at this image. Look at the footprint they have, Andrew. Look at, off the top of my head, obviously, fridge, freezer, cooker. That's all but then, here we go. I bought my washing machine from them as well. Yeah. So that's 3 items in the space of about 3 or 4 years where they've got at least $2,000 worth of revenue from me.
Mate, I went there, in the last month or two, right? Washing machine, tumble dryer, right? The Ring doorbell, right? Video doorbell, whatever it's called, right? The Wi-Fi hub, smart hub, bought from there. What else? TV, bought a TV from there. Printer, I'll always buy from Currys because I like to go and see them, like you said. And I have done in the past. And it just amazes me when I keep looking at this, and thinking, actually, all right. Smart scale, smart scale. I think my daughter bought one from there. Electric toothbrush only because I've got no teeth left. But I completely get it. Get it.
One thing you could say with confidence is that at least 10 to 15% of your appliances in your house could have been sourced from Currys.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that got me thinking. Wow, no wonder this. Obviously, you can imagine me around Boxing Day looking at all this data and being like, this great business has just been underneath my nose and I've been looking down on it when actually it's a critical business for this country. Because without it, where would we go? We'd have to go John Lewis to have a look at a couple of things. Then we'd have to go to Argos and look at the catalogue. And, there's a screen and so you can't really see or touch what you're... Like, where on earth are you going? I guess so many questions around. Like, you'd have to really go around or rely fully on internet to get this done.
Well, again, I'm going to park it for now, but my experience of Currys from 3 years ago to a month ago has been completely different. So there's been the good and the bad, but I'll go through it.
Yeah, please, because that's kind of coincide around the laptop piece with my friend Marcel, right? Yeah. So Apple, I'm gonna cross-reference with Apple. Okay, cool. Right. So
interesting. This graphic is fantastic because not only does it talk about where how many times you've been to Currys, etc. It just it highlights to you the amount of tech that you buy, that you don't even think about.
Exactly. Oh, well, that too.
Yeah.
But like the fact that I don't see myself as an active Currys customer,
No,
but
no.
I am actually a Currys customer.
Yeah,
And that
yeah.
just makes me think, imagine now an active Currys customer, someone that's an aficionado. Like, I'm
Yeah.
probably the worst customer that Currys has in
Yeah.
terms of like ongoing revenue. But
Yeah.
they've got my mind share pretty much for life.
Yeah.
So yeah, very interesting. Next. Right. So I'm listening to this, just taking a break from all the serious stuff, right? So I'm listening to this share earnings call, and again, it was around the Christmas period, last Christmas, 2024, and again, this is why I liked the CEO Alex, because I listened to the Nike share earnings call because again, I'm an investor in that. I've got into this habit of listening to CEOs talk to investors. It's the hardest thing to do because they're justifying their existence, their performance, etc., etc. And this guy's just taking out time to do a little bit of a trivia.
Yeah.
And he's gone, right, let me tell you what our best sellers are for Christmas.
Fantastic.
Right? So I
Yeah.
thought, actually, let me hide them and let me
Right.
ask Andrew and see if he
Okay.
can guess what the top sellers are, like the top products are, and maybe the why as well. Right?
All right.
So
Okay.
Andrew, let's play a trick. Oh, I should have had like a Who Wants
You
to Be a
should have had some
Millionaire?
music or something. Yeah, the countdown music.
I should have played the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire thing.
Yeah.
Oh, well, lost opportunity. Okay, cool. So you can see my screen now, right? It's a PowerPoint
can, yeah.
thing. Yeah. Good. All right.
Right.
So,
Okay. So number one for me is air fryer.
well, guess what, Andrew? Spot
Yeah.
on. Annoying, right?
Really?
You are annoying. Air fryers. Air fryers is actually number one. But this is the bit. Okay, so you just said everyone wants one. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right about everyone wanting one.
Yeah.
Fun fact. Did
Yeah.
you know that 58% of the population owns an air fryer?
Flipping hell. 58% of the UK population owns an air fryer.
My little tiny peanut brain exploded peanut butter all over the living room with that one. Because we had an episode all about cooking. I am air fryer. How dare you? How dare you? Yeah. If someone bought me an air fryer, I'd be offended. I don't care how much I've heard of it.
Thank God I didn't get one.
I
Thank you.
associate it with Iceland food, like
Yeah.
just crap food that you
Yeah.
just
You need-
justify.
you need educating, mate.
No,
You need
I
educating.
know I need educating, and this is my point. This is why my
Yeah.
little peanut brain exploded peanut butter all over my living room, because I did not know 58% of the population owns an air fryer, and this is why I like the CEO, because he made it fun to some degree, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the second thing that got me thinking about this, right, was
Right.
not just the fact that it was 58%. I just was
Yeah.
like, well, if 58% of the nation owns an air fryer, why are there not enough supermarket products specifically made for the air fryer?
Mincy, you know what? This is why we're in sync, right? I sat there the other day thinking, any minute now we're going to get air fryer sections in the supermarkets, but we still haven't got them.
It's a missed business opportunity.
Massively
because
missed
you know
business
what? If
opportunity.
you made an air fryer friendly meat product,
Jamie Oliver, if you're listening, send us a check.
Guys, this business idea is up for grabs. The
Yeah.
only reason why I wouldn't do it is because I'm profusely against them, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
58, I mean, you've bought two. Andrew, you've bought two.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I've actually got 3 in the house.
Jesus Christ. Wow.
I
But
tell you
anyway,
what, my youngest daughter's boyfriend, Joel. Hi, Joel. He bought us one for a Christmas present about 3 years ago.
Yep.
And like you, I thought, air fryer. What am I going to do with this, right? And I made chips. Oh my good God! Yeah. Apart from frying in proper oil, deep fat, they were amazing.
Wow.
And I thought, you know what, this is great. And I've gone from just doing chips only, to almost everything.
Wow.
Yeah. Honestly, it's a bit weird because the original sale of an air fryer was about, it's healthy, because you don't need fats and blah, blah, blah. But now it's about convenience, it's about speed, and it's about having that crispy, thing that you get that you don't get in a microwave.
Right.
Yeah. Jamaican patties, air fryer, put them on bake for a few minutes, and it's like it's almost just come out of the oven.
Incredible. Well, there you go. So yeah.
All right. So number one, I was right.
Air fryers. Okay, cool. Go on. What's next?
Okay. The next one I'm going to go for is gaming chair.
No.
Oh, no, really? I just thought, you know what?
No.
Everybody's going to be buying,
No.
Oh, that's done me. I was going to put TV, but not as number 2. But I'm going to go with TV.
Right.
As being there.
Right. So absolutely. Bingo. Right. TV. But
Yeah.
But what type of TV?
Flat screen.
Nah, a bit more than that. Everything's flat screen now.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I don't even know what it's called now. Smart TV. Sorry, there you go. Smart TV.
No.
No? Well, I don't know then, because there's this liquid. I can't. Retina. I don't know. There's a new screen, isn't there? Out. I don't
No,
know.
not even.
Really? I don't know. Then I'm lost.
Right. Well, I'll put you out your misery.
Yeah.
Okay, when it deletes. Supersized TVs. Now, why is it
massive ones?
Yeah, why is it important? Because you've just made me realize something, right?
Yeah.
You've just made me realize something. There's always been a TV fad.
Yes.
So first it was going from the ones with the big bundas, the big bum TVs, right? To flat screen.
Yeah.
Then it was LCD and you know the what do they call it? The 1080 HP or whatever.
10 HP.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Then it was okay.
High def.
Now we're gonna go curved. Then then there was a 3D phase.
Yes.
Then there was a LED.
OLED.
OLED phase.
Yeah.
Then there was a 4K phase.
Yeah.
Now it's like there isn't a new phase in.
Yeah,
Then there was a smart TV phase.
Yeah.
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 But now we've gone to supersize.
Really?
Right. So 98, basically anything over 60, but the 98-inch TVs have been the stonkers for
Really?
for
98.
for
Bloody
Currys.
hell, that's
Now,
massive.
questions for you, Andrew. Why?
Yeah. I don't know. Why would you want a 98? I mean, God almighty, where would you put it? Yeah, why?
Come on, think. You actually hold the answer in your brain. Think about something that could have happened this year to stimulate. No, not this year. 2024 to stimulate the reason why you buy.
It's not the football, is it? It's not the
It's
World
the
Cup.
football.
Yeah, it always is.
It's
it
the
always
football.
is.
Everyone ran to buy supersized TVs for the
football.
Euros.
Yeah.
400% uplift
Wow.
on TVs.
Wow. Yeah. So TVs, right? Okay. So I'm running out of
All
ideas
right.
now.
So what's next?
I'm going to go with a tablet.
Nope.
Oh.
But you're close.
Or laptop then.
Right. Specific laptop.
It's got to be Apple.
Nope. No. Think about what I just shared on the Instagram with the guy kicking the bottle.
The guy kicking the bottle. Oh, are people going for smaller laptops? Yeah, no.
I'll put you out your misery.
Yeah.
AI laptops.
Oh, okay. Is there an AI laptop? I didn't know there was.
They're all coming with like ChatGPT and all that type of assistive thing.
Okay.
Right.
Well, that's another fad for me.
Right.
Why can't you just?
So I think that's very, very interesting. I'll tell you why it's interesting, right?
Yeah.
And this is now when I can tell. Maybe you and I can talk a bit about. Well, I'm going to tell my story about Marcel, and you can tell your story about your experience in the next slide, right?
Yeah.
Right. Check this out. Did you know that Currys, I'm refraining myself from saying Dixon's all the time.
Yeah.
Currys have a 75% market share in AI laptops.
Bloody hell.
So if you're not buying it from wherever, you're probably buying your laptop in Currys.
But forgive me, I what is an AI laptop?
Oh, like it comes with like inbuilt AI, so it has the right chips.
Right.
It has the right. It's all about the NVIDIA chips and all of that.
Oh,
it's about processing power and.
It's like when laptops came out and they said, "Oh, this is a gaming laptop," because there's still gaming laptops and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I suppose it's a specialist.
yeah.
They're trying to push a specialist.
I mean, I'm not well versed in it, but the point is this, right? for me, it's not so much the AI laptop. It's about the fact that they have such a strong market share in laptops, and people
Right.
still go and buy their laptops from there. I say this because I bought the last 2 or 3 laptops, and I've stuck to Apple
Yep.
from the Apple store.
Yeah.
So, like I said to you before, my friend Marcel went to buy an Apple because I told him to buy an Apple.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, he's going to go to Westfields because he's always there with his little one.
Yeah.
And he's going to buy this laptop. He's like, no, I'm in Currys right now. Now, he doesn't know. I mean, he doesn't know his ass from his elbow when it comes to laptops.
Right.
So he goes, no, because they will talk to me. And,
Yes.
and they're going to guide. Like, he goes, I'm speaking to the guy here. I just want to verify that what he's told me is
Yeah.
what you... And I went, yeah, it's correct.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, why has he gone and done that? Like, why would you just not get it directly from Apple? And then I bought an appliance for a family member in the Apple store
Right.
twice this Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Andrew, I went in there. Andrew, they had me in the Apple store with the... I don't know if they call them geniuses anymore.
Yeah.
You go in there. Andrew, they didn't even acknowledge me.
No, I know.
Andrew, I'm standing around like
I
a
agree.
wally.
I agree.
It's looking like a bloody discotheque in there.
Well, did you have your moustache?
No, I didn't have my mustache. I was completely compliant, right?
Yeah.
I stood there, Andrew.
Yeah.
All I wanted to do was to give them £1,300 or £600, however much it was that they charged me, and go away. Andrew, I stood in the shop. No word of a lie. For 30 minutes,
Wow.
unattended.
Wow.
And then I went, guys, I want to buy something. And they went, sorry, I don't deal with customers. Go to that
I
person
know.
over there.
Yep. Yep.
And I was livid, Andrew.
Yep.
And by the way, I'm a business customer for them as well. Not like, I don't mean that I should get, but the fact of the matter is, Andrew, it really had me reconsidering whether Apple is going to stay on top.
Yeah.
Because when you think about when they first started to do like stores, you used to go in there and they used to call them geniuses, you used to speak to them.
Yeah.
There was this feel like it was all trendy and whatnot, and you had a good feeling. People are now accustomed to it now. They haven't done anything different for the last 10 years. It still looks the same, but now you're giving me C-word energy.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, I'm coming off to drop off $2,000 here.
Yeah. No, I've had the same experience with them, and you know, it's put me off Apple a little bit. I mean, I love the product, but certainly going to the Apple store in Lakeside, I had a similar thing, waiting around for 20 minutes almost, and I had the same thing. Sorry, I don't deal with customers. Exactly the same as you. And then I finally got somebody, and I explained what I wanted to do, and I didn't get the service that I expected, which is like, well, you know, this is what I had to keep asking the questions. You know, what's the difference between these two? Why should I pay more for this?
Same thing
Yeah.
thing that I had. And I just thought to myself, this is low-grade customer service with a ribbon around it.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll be honest with you. The reason why I didn't go to Currys, or I haven't gone to Currys for a while, is because I was on the assumption that Currys would be more expensive and they wouldn't have all the
Same.
models that
Same.
Apple... But if they did have the same models,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'll be going Currys next.
Yeah.
And they can take their 20% slice or whatever slice of thing, because I don't want to give it back to them guys there. Like, it's a disgrace. Like, they're meant to be a premium so it got me. I say this story to say, I was treating my friend like a mug and like a dinosaur for going to Currys.
Yeah.
And after my experiences, I just went, actually, I'm the mug.
Yeah.
That was that. But
No, completely agree with the Apple thing. AI laptops, as I say, don't know much about them, but fair enough. If
well,
that's
they're the
what people
latest.
buy.
They're the latest trend, right? And
Yeah.
again, I said all of that long-winded story to say that I started off by going boo, and then looked underneath the hood and went, actually, this could be true. Like, and it probably is true. He's not gonna lie, you know, on his share and his call. So anyway, next guest, please.
Coffee machine,
Coffee machine.
like one of them pod things.
Bingo.
It
continues to be coffee machines. I've got nothing to say about that. Except they're getting better. They're becoming more accessible. And
The only reason I haven't bought one, and I'm still sticking to the pods, is I just don't fancy cleaning the bloody things.
Right. Right.
But otherwise, they're getting cheaper and cheaper, better and better. And yeah, otherwise, you know what? I'm just sitting there thinking I'm going to have to descale it. I'm going to have to change it, clean it. Whereas I can just put a pod in and it tastes nice. But yeah, you know what? Watch this space and we'll have this competition next year. And I'll be saying, actually, I bought one from Currys. Yeah.
I think one thing I will say that could be interesting about this is there's a big debacle right now around the coffee prices, and we did show a meme in the last episode where like, you know, you got the likes of Starbucks charging like £5 something for certain types of coffees, and it's just like actually the margin of quality between now getting one in the high street and these machines. They're narrowing down by the
very narrow.
By the
even
month.
the pods, mate. Even the pods. You know
They're
what?
pretty
I don't buy. I mean, I've got an espresso machine, right? But I don't buy an espresso pods, right? And I found the brand that I really like, and I tell you what, it's better than Starbucks.
Right.
Better than Starbucks.
And this is my point. So I see even more growth in that area, and I think that's what's interesting there. Anyway.
Yeah.
Next. Actually, you know what, Andrew? I am going to give you kudos on one thing. You said gaming chair.
Yeah.
I think I was a bit cruel to you.
Okay.
Not necessarily gaming chair, but curved gaming monitors. So gaming is on the list.
See, I was going to put monitors down, right? And only because my old neighbour kept saying I'm going to buy him a monitor for his thingy, but I thought gaming chair would be something more thingy. But yeah, so that makes sense to me.
Gaming continues to be a number, you know, a top 10 vertical, which again allows me to reveal gaming console. Obviously.
Yes.
I mean, that's another one. Right.
Yeah.
But okay. And I'm also going to take off, actually, no.
Hang on. Gaming mic.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Any other guesses?
Earphones.
Give me a bit more specific on that.
Gaming earphones.
No.
Over the head earphones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm going to give you that. Noise cancelling headphones.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Noise cancelling headphones seems to continue.
Yeah.
You know, it's the whole isolation thing, and
They don't work. Don't fall for it, audience. But there you go.
I think they're pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah, I've not bought one that actually works properly. But
all right.
maybe
Yeah,
it's just
I mean,
me.
I bought some really expensive Sony ones. A few years
See, that's
back.
where I fall down.
They're
because
about 200 quid, but they stopped working after a year and a half.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, goes to show. Any other guesses?
What else did I write down? Tablet. Did I say tablet?
Yep, you did.
Oh, okay. I didn't. No, I've got no others. Air fryer, TV, gaming chair, tablet, coffee machine, earphones, monitor. And that's it. That's where I stopped.
Right. So I'll give you this one. So I'm going to give you another one.
Yeah.
Drones.
Oh, bloody hell. How did I miss that one?
DJI drones.
Yeah.
DJI. So, you know, I use the Osmo DJI. What I've been trying to I've been preaching to you about a long time as a camera. Yeah. The drone version is a real top seller when it comes to Currys. And that's, I think it's a Chinese brand as well. So, yeah, brilliant. Yeah. It's a brilliant kit. I swear by their products. And, that was another interesting one. This one, I think, was brilliant as well. Health and beauty. So there's 5 in 1. You know, your missus always asks for that. That's still a top contender.
Straighteners.
Yeah, you know, the straighteners, the hair thing.
Yeah, the curlers and all that.
Yeah, I can imagine that the Dyson version is still number one.
Yeah.
And this one also surprised me a lot.
Hang on, before you do it.
Yeah.
Robo vacuum.
No. Are they any good, Andrew?
Mate, I bought one for Paula for her birthday, for Christmas. I'm still thinking it's a bit of a waste of money, but she loves it. But...
I mean, I would get one if it was mini, could hold a lot of dust, and was really thin, so it could go underneath my sofas and everything. I think I'd get one, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, so...
I think it's crap, but there you go. Anyway, sorry.
Mobile phones still.
Really?
Yeah. I find that incredible.
That surprises me that people... Is this Currys list? This is Currys list,
This is just Currys, yeah.
So that surprises me that people go to Currys to buy mobile phones, because it's not again, a bit like Apple, I suppose. It's not the first place I would go.
Right. And the funny thing is, that's what was surprising to me as well, because a big part of their business is mobile phones. They've got something called ID Mobile.
Okay.
which is and it's actually one of their biggest kind of growing verticals, which is
Right.
actually very different to AL.com. AL.com's mobile verticals going down, theirs is going up, which is again testament. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting game.
It is interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit annoyed that microphones aren't on there, because then I would talk about my microphone.
Is that what you were? Oh yeah, we did notice, Andrew.
If I come out, if I sound like Barry White a little bit.
I love it.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, from that, the thing that's, as I say, mobile phones, that surprised me a little bit. Drones I should have thought of, because my son-in-law is desperate for one, and my daughter still tells him to grow up. AI laptops, didn't know it was a thing.
Well, again,
but I knew air fryers.
Key stat there is 75%. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Air fryer, 58% of the nation owns one. I mean, if you're not creating a business if you're in the food business and you're not creating something for air fryers, missed opportunity there.
You missed.
And the other one was, what was the other surprise bit? Oh, and the supersized TVs.
Supersized TVs.
I mean, Andrew, note to ourselves: next Euros.
Yeah.
We're not going to sell supersized TVs. We'll sell accessories for supersized TVs.
Yeah.
Whoever,
sound bars, blah blah blah, all that sort of stuff.
not necessarily. I just thought maybe just the mounts, the things that mount it on the wall.
God.
Imagine that your sales would have gone up. Like,
This
this really got me thinking about macroeconomics.
Yeah.
This whole study has made me think about how important different disparate events compound to create one boom in a specific industry.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I mean, the one thing about air fryers, what I have noticed recently is, when you have the cooking instructions, they have like oven, microwave, and a lot of them now have air fryer timings as well.
Right, I did not know that. know that.
But again, I would have expected to go down to Tesco's or whoever and seen a whole shelf of air fryer specific.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen now that we've said it.
This is a recording. Jamie Oliver, if you come up with air fryer menus, we want to check, mate.
If anyone comes up with it, they're sorted. Like, just snacks for the air fryer. You're in.
Absolutely.
Or at least writing on the package that tells you how to do it in air fryer. Get the best
I just think, no, you're right. Air fryer. We all know they're not specifically designed for air fryers, but just the branding and packaging, blah blah blah.
Even just to fit it in, just fits in your air dryer in the right way. With packaging that stops the mess going over. Oh, you're in, mate. You're in.
Well, I mean, you're talking about macroeconomics, right? So with the air fryers, you've now got silicon things that you put in there, and they sell them at Currys. In fact, when I bought the air fryer, they tried to sell me it. Yeah, big up Temu, because I bought it for a lot less. But but yeah, it was like little silicon things. Again, someone's been clever, because these silicon things used to be used in ovens to bake bread and whatever and now they're doing it on these.
But Andrew, I want you to hold that thought as well about the fact that they tried to sell you that, because that's very key to the strategy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go into that as well. Anyway, next. I hope you enjoyed that.
I did, loved it.
Right, so let's go back, taking a break now from the trivia. Let's go back to actual business, right? So let's look at how the group revenue is distributed. So we're talking 8.5 billion.
Yeah.
59% of that revenue is in the UK, and 41% of that is in the Nordics.
Right, so that's what it's called, is it? LCHOP?
Right, yeah, LCHOP. So yeah, we have 23.3% of the UK market share. So that 20 billion slice, that 20 billion that we were talking about, 23% of it is in the hands of Currys. So I think it's absolutely brilliant. Nice. And then with the Nordics, it's a higher market share, but obviously the market's smaller, right?
Yeah.
And it's also distributed amongst more countries. So that's
you got Sweden, Denmark, Norway, Finland.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I thought it'd be interesting. I don't know why, but I thought it'd be interesting to look at like how much of that money is split across the different segments of products, right?
Yeah.
So if we look at computing, it's 28%. So Andrew, when we said that they have the 75% market share, it's a big slice of their revenue on just pure laptops.
Yeah,
I don't know. I found that really interesting.
Well, again, it goes back to, you want to touch and feel. You want some expert to speak to and say, this is what I want to do. What do you recommend? You can't get that online.
These are bricks and mortar friendly segments because, you get the point, right?
Yeah.
Consumer white goods, 32%.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
Same reason.
I
Same
don't
thing.
know anyone that would buy a white good. Like, even when it says that the white good, like, so think about my washing machine. It will say, 62 inches in width.
Yeah.
I still want to see
Yeah.
how big it is.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why.
No, you
but,
do.
But
You do.
I just want to see how tall it is. Even
Yeah.
if I've got the perfect measurements, I just can't press click and buy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without-
It will say £20 drum, and I want to and Paul and my wife will still go. Well, what does that look like? Let's go and have a look at it. What does a £20 drum look like?
Right. Exactly. So white goods, your fridge. I mean, the fridge. It's got to be right.
You've
And
got to
I
see a
wanna
fridge.
see the
How
shelves.
can you buy a fridge without seeing it?
I want to see the shelves.
Yeah.
Unless it's the exact model, and I just want the exact model, which hardly ever happens because your fridge will break down every 4 to 5 years or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
or,
I'll tell you a little story about models in a moment as well, actually.
Oh, okay, fair enough. But yeah, white goods make sense.
Yeah.
Consumer electronics, 22%. I don't know what consumer electronics means. Is that like the headphones?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Basically, things like smart light bulbs, hair dryers, that sort of thing.
That thing that was shown
Air
in the house.
fryers.
Right.
Yeah.
So and then 18% mobile phones. So like I said, they've got
That shocked me.
this ID brand that it constitutes a lot of their mobile phones. So they talk about the plans, all of that types of good subscription.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. And then this is also quite interesting to know. 62% of their revenue comes from online. From
Right.
stores.
Yeah.
And 38% of it comes online. So
Yeah.
I think that's. I was looking at the AO.com. Actually, I think I've got them here. Oh, yes, I do. Hold on. Right. Oh, my God. I was actually looking at the AO.com figures. Let me
1.12 billion.
just bear me 1 second. Right. So I just had this up because I was just trying to benchmark this against so if you look at the revenue, they do white goods, electric. They've got about 1 let's call it 1 billion. But they're only online.
Yes.
So that's 1 billion of online only commerce. So if you now just benchmarking that against back to what we were saying about Currys, then that really starts to come to life.
Well, let me maybe not shed some light on it, but just give you a little bit of a backstory on that as well. Is when you go to Currys and you go and see a washing machine or whatever, right? One of the things that they do is if they don't have it in stock, they'll say, well, we've got it in stock online, right? So then you go home and then you order it online, or you can even order it online when you're there, right? Now, where I see a real challenge or a danger to Currys on that, and this is from my own experiences, is where they've improved customer service, the expertise and all of that in the online stores. They've made it amazing. I mean, when I go back to my previous story about them just reading what was said, what was written on top of the label on the washing machine, to the other day I went in and I needed to buy a mesh for my Wi-Fi, because as you know, Mency, I've moved house recently. And the Wi-Fi didn't reach the shed in the garden. And I went to Currys and this young lady came up, said, "Can I help you?" And I explained what I wanted to do, and I wasn't sure what I meant, what was the difference between an extender and a mesh.
Right.
And you know what? She stood there and she said to me, "Well, let me tell you what the extender does, because I know about this and I've used one recently, blah blah blah. But I don't know what the mesh does. If you just bear with me a second," she went and got another colleague who then came in and then described what a mesh does. Asked me, how big is your garden, blah, 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 how many rooms, etc., etc. And they said, well, you know what, we would recommend the mesh. And I said, great, I want the best one. And they went, well, this is the most expensive one, but it's not the best one in our opinion. And they sold me another one, which was about 50 quid cheaper.
Wow.
Right? And I tell you what, Mency, it is amazing. It's brilliant. It has worked flawlessly.
Wow.
Yeah. Now compare that with a few years ago when I was like, oh yeah, it's a washing machine, isn't it? Right. But where they're failing, in my opinion, is they're offering this great service online, and then
No, you mean in store.
In store, sorry, right? But with the online side of things, the great service is to your door. And if they're drivers and they're installation people, and then if anything goes wrong, the customer care people are still a million miles away, mate. They're still a million miles away.
Well, hold your thought on that, because that's part of the strategy.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but you're right. You're absolutely right. I thought you were going to go down a different angle, which was, if they don't have it in store and they say, "I'll buy it online," you go home and you're just going to buy the cheapest one based on their advice. That's what I thought you was going to go after.
No,
but I do remember one time going to Currys, and they can actually buy it for you online there.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's brilliant. Yeah, and that's really brilliant. But anyway,
and I'm just the reason I mentioned that bit was, does that count in their online figures?
It probably will. Will. But the fact of the matter is this, right? 38% of it is online transactions. And if you think about the fact that it's 8.5 billion, right? That's very, I mean, let's just say, I don't know, half of that is, this online traffic is just in the UK. That's still bigger or as big as the AO.com annual revenue. And I just think that's absolutely phenomenal. Like for a business that started in 1884,
exactly, selling bicycles.
Selling bicycles, to still be in the top 5 of this market with a decent online presence. Kudos to them as well. And I've met their IT team, and I wasn't impressed, but now I am impressed. And it just goes to show, it is what it is. And this is the bit that got me interested as well. And then I will move on. I'm sorry, audience. 94% of it is business to customer, but now they're doing business to business.
That's been going on for years.
Didn't know that.
It's been going on for years. They've been really, they tried to really push that for years, when it was still called car phone, what was it, Dixon's Car Phone Warehouse or whatever it was called. They tried to get business accounts opened and stuff like that while you were in store. I don't think it worked at the time, but maybe
but
a
it's
little
still
bit
sticking to
different
it.
now.
But it's still sticking to it. But 6% still decent.
It's the target market is, I hate to use this American phrase, mum and pop shops.
Right.
The small business that's got 10 people working there, and they've got they need 5 computers, 10 computers,
so
a printer.
It's not enterprise scale. It's more small to medium.
But it works. It works for that. I think that's where, in my opinion, I think that's where they could have a lot more growth if they wanted to.
Okay. Well, that's an overview of the revenue split.
Great.
Right. So let's go into the actual strategy. Okay.
Right.
So, so it's very simple actually, and this is, I think, connects back into your point about how they need to step up in other areas.
Yeah.
So first of all, they are doubling, tripling down on training staff to deliver.
It shows. It shows.
And
it definitely shows. So kudos. That has definitely changed. Definitely.
Right. The next thing is making the customer shopping experience easier. So again, that kind of leads to the first point, but also things around like making the tech more affordable. So how credit plans, they do that, but more affordable credit plans.
Yeah.
Now, this is the bit that I thought was very interesting. Easy installation. So wait, let me just get my notes up. Sorry about this. So I just, because my notepad has disappeared, but I had some really interesting takes on this, which I thought, oh, that's interesting. Right, so check this out. Easy installation and setup is something that they've gone for. So this is my experience 4 years ago. You buy a cooker, 2 lads come and deliver it. Right, your gas engineer will be here next.
Yep.
And then the gas engineer comes, oh, I can't install this one.
Yep.
Bring in the next one. It's about 3 visits. Now, when you buy it, what do you want? You want it to be delivered and installed there and then. And you want it to work, right?
Of course.
Never had that until last year, February, when I bought my gas cooker. Guy comes in, Hi mate, how you doing? Da 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 da. Comes in, looks at the slot, puts it in, talks to me throughout the whole experience, gives me a tour on how to use the cooker.
Cooker, yeah.
He was just all in one visit, Andrew.
Yeah.
And I just thought, has this guy hit his head? Like, no, and I say that because it just didn't seem like a Currys employee.
Yeah.
And whenever there was an inconvenience, the apology, like, and I was
Yeah.
just like, what the hell's going on? It was the difference between, it felt like they had almost like maybe up the pay or triple the pay, right?
Yeah.
But basically, easy installation and setup is something that they're really going for. And you know what? And you know what, Andrew? It's resulted
Yeah.
in £8 million worth of operational cost savings.
Yep.
Well, of course, if you get it right the first time round, not only is the
Absolutely.
customer happy,
Yep.
you don't have to spend that much money.
No, absolutely right. And to be fair with you, that was the reason, excuse me, where I went from Currys to AO.com.
Right.
Because AO.com did that, right?
Right.
So for another, I think it was 25 quid or whatever, you could pick a specific slot for it to be delivered, installed, get the rubbish taken out, or if you paid 35, 45 quid, they'd take the old machine away,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that was what drove me to AO.com. Well, when we came here, Paula bought a washing machine online, and I thought, oh, did you get it from AO? No, I bought it from Currys. I went, what? Bought it from Currys? Yeah. Okay. It was just a cheap one. She didn't want to go fancy, blah, blah, blah. And when they delivered, Mincy, I was on the phone. Yeah, I was actually on a meeting, sitting in the kitchen. And I said to her, are they installing it? And they said, no, but they are going to take all the packaging away, unpack it and take the packaging away.
Yeah.
Like, fair enough. I could hear them come in. And then I could hear Paula saying, why aren't you going to take it out of the box? One dryer, one washing machine. And he said to my wife, love, you're lucky we've bought it here. Have you seen how busy we are? And sodded off. Yeah. He's so lucky I was on a Zoom call. Right. Now, this is what I was referring to when I said they have to get the whole process right.
Right.
Okay. Because at the end of the day, you can be as great online and in store as you like, but it's that final process. You had a great experience, which made you remember that. I had an awful experience. Great experience in shop, awful experience online. Yeah. And then coupled with the washing machine not quite working and being told I have to ring the manufacturer. Well, I didn't buy it from the manufacturer. I bought it from you.
Yeah. Well, that's my gripe with the airline industry. You buy it via Expedia. Oh, they're all good when you're buying it off their platform. Oh, when you got issues, oh no, sorry, you got to call this person and that person.
Yeah.
Well, then the whole point of going to a middleman was to make it easy when times were good.
Exactly.
You best make it easy for me when times are bad.
Yeah, exactly. And if Currys get that bit right, and I'm sure there's a whole heap of people, for every one bad one, there's a whole heap of people that say good reviews. But I found that really made me say, you know what, I'm not going to buy from Currys online. I'm going to go to the store.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the store I found, even to the point, Mincy, Grumpy Andrew went to the store manager and said, are you the manager? And he went, yeah. I said, well, those two have been amazing.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But, if you're going to do online, you've got to do the whole lot. The whole lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there you go.
No. You make a great point. And then the third element is protection plans. You know, we live in a time where like everyone's just throwing away stuff when it's ruined, etc., etc. Also, to be honest, it's very difficult. Like, mate, how many times have I cracked my Apple screen?
Yep.
Right, and if I don't have the care plan,
Yeah.
getting it fixed is as expensive
Exactly.
as the laptop itself. You might as well throw it away.
Yeah.
Like it's ridiculous, but yeah, they're really going into like these protection plans.
Yeah.
And they've got 1,400 employees, engineers specifically for this, and it's making them a lot of revenues around kind of upkeep in the products. And actually, I skipped over something when I was talking about making the customer shopping experience easier, and that's something that I wanted to kind of highlight with you. Yeah, remember when you said that you went to buy the air fryer in Dixon's, and they tried to sell you the silicone mat.
Yes.
Well, when they say making the customer experience easier,
I didn't go to Dixon's, by the way. I went to Curry's.
Oh, apologies. Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, when I was saying that, I'm going to share something quickly with you. Oh, I can't. Yeah, here we go. So, what I'm sharing right now, Andrew, with you and the audience is the actual strategy, as in the way they've kind of put it in their annual reports. Easy to shop is more about being able to give that advice around the whole experience. So, again, okay, you're buying. Going back to Apple, right? I go in there, I want the laptop. They haven't said, hey, do you have a protection screen for it?
No.
Do you have the little connector that connects it to your whatever it is? There was zero consultancy. Andrew,
Nothing.
Zero. They're doubling or tripling down on the full experience. Right. So you're buying the air fryer. What are you using to clean it for? Do you have the silicone mat? Do you have things? And those are ancillary. What do you call them again?
Ancillary
upsells. Right. Benchmark that attitude to the ancillary costs of a flight. See, they bully you into upselling.
Yeah, exactly.
They trick you into upselling. Here, they show value, Andrew. And they
I mean, again, I'm going back to the store, right? When I bought the air fryer, we wanted it because it was, instead of stacking sideways, the two ovens, it was stacked up like that way, right?
Right.
And they only had it in black, but Paula wanted it in white, right? And the guy said, we've got it in white, we've got one left, but it's not where it's supposed to be. He hunted it down in the whole shop. He went out and found it. Yeah, and he said, there you go. Oh, we were so grateful. Yeah. The young lad that told me the TV, he said to me, "What? I asked for something. I can't remember what it was. Oh, a stand, right?" He said to me, "Look, we do them, but I would go on Amazon because we're far too expensive." Honestly, he goes, "We're far too expensive. You can get it on Amazon for about 30 quid. Our cheapest one is £130 or £140, whatever it was." And it's just those sort of experiences that you think, you know what, they're changing. Yeah. They are changing. Yeah. The bully thing is gone. The lack of interest, finding someone to come and help you. They used to all stand by the front door, and they were all managers and who didn't want to talk to customers. It's changing, and you know what? Good luck to them.
Absolutely. So the easy, it's about that end-to-end experience, right? It's like you said, the expert advice with the easy and shopping experience, ancillary costs, right? Customers for life, right? So if we go back to that, the presentation. Actually, hold on. Creating a customer for life. So yeah, basically, it's about that repetition, and it's about that repetition, right? So. Remember, I am a customer for life. Yeah. Because I always buy my cookers and my thing, and I will continuously do it. So it's about affordability. It's about giving options. See, I was a customer back then when they did have credit, and I could use the credit. Now I can afford to pay it outright. But you have a good customer experience regardless of where you are in your life. So if I end up being a pensioner and for whatever reason I can't afford to pay one outright, the fact that the options are always there means that I'm not going to feel that kind of being turned away feeling. And that's why their credit schemes are very important. The fourth pillar is growing profits by increasing, the share of the wallet, new resources, blah, 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 blah. So coming back to, I don't know if you remember when we were talking about, why has the technology sector, the fourth pillar for cost savings.
That I didn't even see that.
The fourth pillar for cost savings is, they've got ID, so they've got ID Mobile, right, which is 1.8 million subscribers. So that kind of justifies why the mobile phones are going up, right? Which is brilliant that they could even coexist like that when you got the likes of Vodafone and all these different EEs giving you handsets. It just goes to show, right? Yeah. But it's the fourth one. They're partnering with Accenture,
didn't know
which
that,
is a massive, and Microsoft to understand cost savings from AI. Yeah. So apparently they've drafted 60 potential use cases of AI to help. So this is what the CEO said. Said we sell AI laptops, yet we do not implement it in our business. Yeah. So we're partnering with them to the experts to go and find out how we can roll this out. Now, one of the investors asked, well, how? And he's just like, well, we'll speak about it in January.
Right.
Do you know what really surprised me?
Yeah.
That no one knows that we're 2 or 3 years deep on AI.
Yeah.
And talking about it as a buzzword, and no one can explain how
No.
on earth it makes money.
Yeah.
I have not pinpointed one business that's using AI and it's truly transforming the business.
Yeah.
Other than the people that are making the microchips for AI and the people that are selling the software with AI on it. But actual day-to-day businesses like the retail space, I'm not seeing the impact of AI, and the fact that it's only 60 potential use cases.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's pathetic. Not from Currys. Not from Currys.
No,
I just
in
mean
general.
in general.
No,
For the amount of attention we give AI,
Yeah.
for the amount of stuff that shares just go up because AI exists, the
Yeah.
fact that a business like Currys, which is so important to our economy, only is thinking or has the 60 potential use case, is not actually commercializing the profits from it. I don't know. That's how I felt about that. I don't know what you think, Andrew.
Well, I think we're early on AI yet, mate. I think we've. I was going to say something really rude then. I just think it's come to fruition, not fruition, but it's too early. I don't think, like you say, I think it's been released and people are talking about it and it's a big bubble, but I think there's a long way to go before we can actually use it to make profits, to make life-changing things, company-changing strategies, etc. At the moment, I think people are investing on AI-related things because of what could happen rather than what's happening now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I couldn't summarize it better. So I guess what I was trying to say before I kind of fit. So those are the pillars, and I think they're realistic pillars. Okay, but I just want to make one point before I kind of really go into the conclusive element of this. So before we were talking about the macroeconomic the market share of technology, what's going down. I've only got one theory around this.
Yeah.
If you think about it, technology does a lot more than it used to.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to contradict myself here, used to go into Currys and buy camcorders, cameras.
Yeah.
The iPhone camera now.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? The mobile phones, they do so much more.
Yeah.
Speakers, we used to have to buy actual hi-fis.
Yeah.
And there was all sorts of varieties of hi-fis and whatnot.
Yeah.
Now it's you've got these small mobile speakers that have Bluetooth, connect to your phone. I can see the shrinkage of the amount of technology you need in your house.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So I think that also plays, even if you think about it, I know you watch your TV quite a lot, Andrew, but I don't switch on my TV that often. I will consume things on the laptop.
Yeah.
I'll consume things on my phone, or I haven't got a tab, but I would if I had a tab. But I don't know if I'll ever buy a TV again.
Well, funny enough, I'm going that way. I'm consuming a lot more on laptop or tablet now. I'm watching less and less films and programs and going on YouTube or online to watch snippets of things and whatever you. And I agree. When we look at, you used to have a hi-fi system with the great big speakers. Now you've got portable speakers, and it's got to a stage where technology is there for the sake of maybe trying to make money for the technology companies rather than being a necessity. A robot Hoover, come on. Who the heck do we think we are? Seriously, yeah?
Right.
And the funny thing is it will Hoover and then Paul will go, I didn't pick up that bit.
And then you'll still Hoover anyway.
Yeah, of course. It's like the dishwasher, you put your dishes in, it comes out, and then you have to wash it again because it hasn't washed it properly. I just think we fall for a lot of crap that we don't really need. And a lot of these technology companies are looking at that. Curved TVs. Come on,
air fryers. You could always just pan fry it.
We
But
can
anyway,
always just pamphlet, yeah, and we fall for it. And I'm the biggest, I'm one of the biggest culprits. I love technology. I love getting the latest tech if I can afford it. But where is it going to end? I don't know. It's like I've got a 2017 MacBook Air, right, that I don't use because it's a 2017 MacBook Air. But you know what? It does exactly what this brand new MacBook that I'm recording on now does, other than it's got a slightly smaller screen.
right, and that's my point. So I think that's got a big reason to do with the shrinkage. I don't know, but on a final thoughts, Andrew. I'll kick off I usually kind of hand it over to you, but I want to kick off my final thoughts on this one because I've spent so much time thinking about it. I'd say Currys isn't a leading business anymore, like as in it leads within its sector, but it's not a sexy business or high growth business. It's obviously recovering because it has a great CEO. And I would definitely, like, anyone who's got interested from this, I'd say listen to their share earnings call. The CEO is really, really good. It's got great staff. However, I think the long-term learning is this: it's a business that's lasted for so long. I have confidence that it will find the vertical. I don't really see it as an electrical company anymore. I see it as a company that's there to serve customers' needs whenever that need becomes a market focus. So I wouldn't be shocked if everyone becomes crazy around lighting, they'll sell lighting. If anyone,
they do.
This is a business about your house now. It used to be about bicycles because maybe everyone can afford a car, so they did bicycles. I don't know, in the 40s and whatnot. Now, or in the 1800s, of course, it was transportation, right? They focused on a need. Now it's household goods and electricals. Tomorrow it can be something else. So I no longer see it as a brand that just sells overpriced electrical goods. I actually see it as an advisory company. And I'm really, really happy to see that its staff has really gone up in kind of quality. They seem to be happier. They're scoring very high on, they call it ESAT, which is employee satisfaction scores. And I'm really excited to see whether this year, 2025, the results are going to be even better, because it's one of these businesses that have a very clear strategy that makes sense, with a very transparent CEO that's been there from 2018 and has turned it around in 5 years. Its 5-year plan is starting to show dividends. Really excited to see how it goes this year. But anyway, Andrew, I don't know, your final thoughts.
Well, you know what, you've highlighted a lot of the changes that I've seen, but I haven't really noticed. And doing this session today has highlighted the training staff to deliver the best in class customer service. Hats off to him. I've certainly noticed a difference. Making the shopping experience easy. Again, easy to find some help when you need it. And where I see its danger is on the online service. So where it was a really clever technique actually, where it used to compete on price, right? It used to say things like, if you find it better anywhere else, we'll give you double refund back. But they used to use clever things like, it would be two almost identical machines, with a long model number, but one would have end in a Y and one would end in an X, and they go, oh, well, you know what, it's not the same model. Well, it was, and they've gone away from that a little bit, and they've gone more about quality, experience, sales. And if hopefully they'll be able to pass that on to the online side of things, the actual customer facing side of things, because I think certainly from my experiences that would need help. Where they'll go from here, again, I think we're going to double down on connected equipment, connected fridges, Paula loves it. She sits there and she goes, I think I'll hoover, gets a phone out, presses the button, and the little machine goes running around.
Wow.
And I think we're going to get to more of that, we're going to get to things like, you'll be at home or you'll be at work and you'll think, oh, I don't know if I need any. Do I need milk? And you've got a little camera in your fridge and stuff like that. So I think that's where a lot of it will go. Personally, I think it's a load of hype, and but there are people that love that stuff and will have it, but really happy for Currys, to have a name there. I didn't think it was that old, to be still there, up and competing with the likes of Amazon, AO.com.
The fact that it still exists is crazy. It's
crazy. And being able to use service to go and pry Apple customers away from Apple shops, that's an achievement in itself. So long may it continue. And I love it. And we've talked about some CEOs, and we've slagged off a few CEOs, but hats off to this one. He seems to be knowing what he's doing, having a plan, and delivering that plan. So great session. Thank you so much for putting all that together. Love the competition bit again. Looking forward to the next one.
Okie dokie. Well, with that said, I'm going to leave you, the audience with our outro music, which
also happens to be our intro music.
Exactly. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, and hope you enjoyed the episode, and see you next time.
Yeah, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.